It's hot in Vietnam. Just the climate, the way it hung on you, the way it stuck to you, that's gonna inform how you play the scene, what's going on. Hello, my name is Jonathan Majors, and I play David in Five Bloods on Netflix. You're here for the gold. Don't lie. The Bloods have gone to Vietnam to embark on, let's call it their final mission. I show up and I crash the party. I get up under my dad, played by Delroy Lindo, and I kind of start my mission, which is to get closer to him. You want to tell your Bloods? Or should I? I become a part of the unit and they accept me, and they allow me to join them on the search for gold.
Why did you come here?
Well, he's my dad. Feels like my last chance with him. I read the script and I saw that this was a fella who was dealing with an issue, and that issue was his love for his father.
You ain't been nothing but an anchor around my neck. Yeah, I said it.
And the love he needs from his father. In developing this role, I began to really study Delroy Lindo and kind of created a dossier of what our life might have been like, as he's a Vietnam War veteran.
You consider me checked on.
Come on now, Dad.
That relationship that you see in that moment is built upon my birth on. You've got to chronicle all of that. You have to somehow put that into your nervous system. And so I did a lot of these things that I learned in drama school, where you just set up imaginary events in your brain and you play them out. And so what became the driving force is to get my father's pride.
How you holding up?
Boy, you ask me that every 5 minutes.
David is a black studies teacher. My father was a soldier. I'm not a soldier, but he respects the warrior spirit. And what does the warrior look like? Mental acuity, emotional sturdiness, a strong body, a powerful will. And so I began to embody those things in creating the world.
I'm here with a group of Vietnam vets. One's my father.
Most particularly, I looked at what was the relationship between black men and the Vietnam War. And Spike was really helpful with that. He gave us a book called Bloods, and it was a memoir of these stories from all these different type of fellas. And that gave me a great insight as into what these men went through.
Let's go, get the boat moving. Move on!
Delroy's Paul is so emotional and so broken. And as I was working with David, I would say, okay, if Dad's like this, I've got to be like this. Or I've got Jordan here, right? But I only got two options because I am his son.
I don't like the way you did it, but I'm glad you're here.
You know, he's a black studies teacher, so he has a certain level of education, which lets you know that this man can use language, can speak. And anyone who's from New Orleans knows that these folks speak a certain way.
Dad, what is that sound?
Cicadas.
To that point, my brother-in-law is a very well-spoken man from New Orleans. And so in prep, I had him record things for me. And so you lay down a language track.
They don't sound like that back home.
We ain't home, son.
All costumes help you get into character. David was wearing trainers. That told me that he can move. He likes to be comfortable. And then as the dramatic action begins to push, it's no longer the undershirt and the button down. We've gone into war gear, right? We're in Nikes, windbreaker, ball cap. You know, we're going into the jungle. So as you watch David move through the piece, he begins to take things off. So he takes off his windbreaker, right? And what do you see? Morehouse. That's the t-shirt he decided to wear. That informs so much the pride he has coming from that school, and two, what that school symbolizes and the strength and the power that that shirt's going to give him.
Where you going? Where you going, boy?
I'm gonna go down to the bank and make a deposit.
I would say that I did have to sharpen up some skills. For instance, incline running became a thing that David did because he was a track runner at Morehouse. So with that idea, I would run from base camp to set. And sometimes set was up in the boonies, way up. Sometimes it was way down. Sometimes you had to climb. So yeah, it became a skill after a while to get your ass up that hill, either at 6 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, what happens if somebody get heat stroke or sprain an ankle or something?
What attracted me to the role of David, just humbly, is Spike Lee. The cinema history that he's laid out to be a part of that was such a opportunity. And then what really made me go, yeah, man, I'm glad to be here, you know, was the fellas I was around who had already accomplished so much and held such esteem for the work, and to contribute to that experience was a no-brainer.